We are here to really push the Spanish government and encourage the Spanish people to push their government to join the treaty. We're here to talk to students at the university, parliamentarians, maybe someone in the government, the mayor of Madrid, just different people in the Spanish public to really get them to understand that their government is going one direction and that's not really what the Spanish people want, we think. So raise awareness of the treaty and make sure that the government gets a lot of pressure to join it.
And parliamentarians have really played a major role in realizing the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. And I'm extremely grateful to every single one of these 91 parliamentarians here in Spain for taking action today. And today we continue the fight for the eradication of these immoral weapons. And now we look to parliamentarians to help us to promote the signature and ratifications of this treaty by all countries. But more importantly here in Spain, a country that has previously been a champion for disarmament.
Parliamentarians are the representatives of the people, and they have a huge role to play in shifting government position, whether or not they're in government or not. And engaging parliamentarians is really a key priority for us because they are the ones who kind of will create this shift in policy that we need. And we have a pledge that parliamentarians can sign to commit themselves to work to get their governments to join the treaty. Because we know that it's hard to shift the government, but we need to start somewhere. So the more parliamentarians that are engaged, and we're going to encourage them to do motions, to debate the issue in Parliament, to ask questions to the government, to ask questions to the Ministry of Defense, all these things as follow-up. So to get their commitment to do this work is really important for us, and it's a good tool to show the building of a movement and the building of political pressure. We can look at Italy, look, we have 100 there, and we can look at Norway or Germany, and look, here's parliamentarians thinking the same thing, and that can also be a sense of comfort for parliamentarians. I'm not alone. Maybe my government or the Prime Minister won't change their mind right now, but look at here, there's things happening all the time.
And why would a country that has banned other inhumane weapons, like biological weapons or chemical weapons, anti-personnel landmines or cluster munitions, not want to ban nuclear weapons? Is it a lack of political will? It is definitely not a lack of the will of the people, because here in 1986, the people of Spain made it clear that it would not accept nuclear weapons on Spanish soil as a part of a deal for Spain to maintain its membership of NATO. And the Spanish government needs to ask itself, does it represent the will of Donald Trump or the will of the Spanish people who have made it clear that they reject nuclear weapons?
Spain, as all the other NATO countries, have been pressured a lot by the nuclear armed states in NATO, so the UK, US and France, to not participate in the negotiations and join this treaty. However, Spain has also decided through a referendum in the 80s that they don't want nuclear weapons here, and they want to be a nuclear weapon-free country. So there's actually not anything preventing Spain from joining this treaty. They can still be a member of NATO and join this treaty. The United States will say that they can't, but looking at the language in the treaty and the legal requirements of NATO states, you don't have to be participating in mass murdering civilians as a NATO member. You can choose to not participate in this weapon. NATO members have joined the Landmines Treaty, the Cluster Munitions Convention, despite the fact that some big, powerful members of NATO didn't. And that's operational weapons that are used together. And they still managed to do that. So we see no reason why Spain couldn't just basically implement the decision in the 80s by joining this treaty.
And by joining the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, Spain has the opportunity to bring democracy to disarmament, to be a leader in Europe and in the world in terms of advancing nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament. The responsible thing to do for Spain is to declare its opposition to the use and modernization of nuclear weapons by strengthening the international norms against them.
Bueno, nosotros, la campaña de ICAN está promoviendo lo que es el Tratado de Prohibición de Armas Nucleares. yo fui invitado a participar en un foro, en el Foro Humanista Europeo, que se llevó a cabo aquí en Madrid hace aproximadamente mes y medio. Y pues hubo una reunión con diputados del Congreso Español en ese entonces, y los diputados aquí, pues en realidad aquí en España hay un movimiento bastante grande que solo hacía falta escarbar un poco la superficie, y hay un sentimiento de rechazo a las armas nucleares muy fuerte. Hay un antecedente también de prohibición de armas nucleares que se dio con el referendo del 86 para seguir perteneciendo a la OTAN. Entonces, en esta reunión con los diputados, pues quisimos promover más el Tratado de Prohibición. Entonces, los parlamentarios se comprometen a promover el Tratado de Prohibición y a que su país logre firmar y ratificar el Tratado de Prohibición. Entonces, logramos conseguir más de 90 firmas en el Congreso. Al conseguir estas 90 firmas vino nuestra directora ejecutiva Beatrice Fihn. Beatriz recibió las firmas y tuvimos un foro también con la Universidad Complutense, en el cual participó el rector de la universidad, participó Federico Mayor Zaragoza. Ahora vamos a tener una reunión con la alcaldía, con el ayuntamiento de Madrid, con la alcaldesa Manuela Carmena, y están pasando varias cosas. Eso es como solamente el inicio. Y es una forma en la que vamos viendo diferentes conexiones, cómo se va despertando este movimiento aquí en España también.